Welcome back, dear viewers. And you're still watching The Breakfast Show on TV International. And as we said earlier, or as the first 10 days of Zil Hijjah in its nights begin, and the honorable and preferred days in which work is multiplied, and it's desirable to strive diligently in worship and also to increase the work of goodness and rightness of all kinds. And in this regard, we're most delighted to have with us over the phone Sheikh Osama al-Gohary, Azhar scholar. Good morning to you.
Good morning, ma'am. Happy to be with you, inshallah.
Inshallah. Good morning, and we're very happy to have you with us. And first, can we start by talking to us about the merits of these beautiful 10 days of Zil Hijjah and the best deeds that the Muslims can follow and can do actually at this time of the year?
Okay, first, I'd like to start with saying Eid Mubarak to you and all dear viewers. We are almost 2 days away from Eid. The first 10 days of the Hijjah are highly regarded in Islam as the period of great blessings and spiritual upliftment. These days are considered more beloved to Allah than any other days, and good deeds performed during this time are particularly rewarded. Our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, may Allah be pleased with him, emphasized the importance of these days, stating that no good deeds on any other days are superior to those done during these 10 days. The merits of these days ranging from increasing the blessings in rewards, like if a person does any good act during any other day, he would be rewarded. But these 10 days is going to be multiplied beyond the person's imagination. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will multiply the rewards for the good deeds performed during these days. And also our Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, highly valued these days and encouraged all Muslims to maximize. It is reported that the mother of the believer Aisha said, the Prophet ﷺ was unmatched. No one can ever come closer to him in preparing, in doing good deeds during these days. These good deeds ranging from fasting, praying, reading Quran, whatever a person can do. There is no particular act of worship that's all acts of worship are recommended, and it's up to every person's own availability. So me, for example, I can do fasting. You can do giving it charity. The other person can do prayer. Anyone can do according to his own availability. Okay. Charity, kindness, and of course, sacrifice is one of the things that a person can do if a person has the financial capacity to do the sacrifice. That would be great. It's also the Sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And one of the most important things during these days that a person can outreach or reach for his own family, his friends, check on them. Life is so fast, so we can reach out for our far-reached family members, trying to bridging the gaps, getting people together. That's one of the most important things a person can do during these days.
Yes, an act also that is very famous during these 10 days is, of course, is fasting. And many people say it's obligatory and others say it's favored. So we want to talk more about this. Is it obligatory or is it favored during these 10 days? And also, what are the merits of fasting these 10 days?
First, there is no obligatory fasting in Islam except in Ramadan. That's once and for all. There's no obligatory acts of fasting except in Ramadan. That's it. Outside that, you can fast whatever you wish. Okay, but the merit of fasting during these days is multiplied as any other kind of acts of worship. So that can be reading Quran, giving in a charity, any kind of worship is going to be multiplied. But the key point in here that there is a hadith that the mother of the believers, may Allah be pleased with her, she says the Prophet ﷺ never missed these days, fasting these days. Okay, so the Prophet ﷺ fasted these days, and he never missed it. But the Prophet didn't like enforce the companions or enforce us to fast it. Okay, in fact, he literally said any act of worship is going to be multiplied. The reward is going to be multiplied during these days. So whatever this kind of action, act of worship is, any kind of action, and as I told you, the merit or the value of fasting these days is multiplied. So a person can cannot deprive himself from having this reward.
Yes, also we need to talk about the great or the greatest privilege when sins are forgiven, the day of Arafah, and the significance of that day. So can you elaborate on that, please?
Okay, the day of Arafah is the 9th day of the Islamic month of Dhul Hijjah. So it's day after tomorrow. It's going to be on Thursday. It is a highly significant day in Islam. It is one of the most important, actually, it's the key day in Hajj. The Prophet ﷺ says, Al-Hajj Arafah, means the Hajj is all about standing in Arafah. So if a person does all acts of Hajj during all days and missed the Arafah, that's going to be a null and void. It's not going to be, he needs to do it again, okay? So this day is really, really important, and it's the day that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgives all the sins for all devoted Muslims who are acting or asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for forgiveness. So this day, Allah comes closer to people, asking them to ask Him for forgiveness, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will shower His mercy over all people, okay, except the Prophet says the only one Muslim characteristic or a feature that if there are two Muslims who are quarreling or fighting or having this kind of dispute, they are going to deprive themselves from this mercy. So that's why I'm telling you earlier that a person must reach out for people, for family, friends, and people to if they're in a dispute, in a quarrel over anything, he can. A person needs to dissolve this quarrel as soon as possible in order to have this mercy be showered on him. And fasting that day is also really, really important. Okay, so a person can if a person cannot fast the first 8 days of the Hijjah, this day is really important. A person he needs to fast the day. The Prophet ﷺ actually says that fasting that day is going to wipe the sins of the previous years and the following one. So whatever that person can any other if a person doesn't have any health issues or something, he needs to observe fasting this day. It's going to be really, really important.
Yes, actually we want to talk more about the importance of sacrifice during these days, and I mean sacrificing a sheep on the first day of the feast, and how important it is, and what are the conditions actually of slaughtering it?
Okay, so sacrifice of sheep at the first day of Eid, it's a symbolic act that commemorates the Prophet Ibrahim, may Allah be pleased with him, willingness to sacrifice his son, Ismail. So sacrificing is an act of obedience to Allah. Okay, as we all know that Ibrahim alayhi salam Allah told him to sacrifice his son, and willingly, that was a test. Okay, and willingly he said, yes, I hear and I obey. And at the last moment, Allah blessed Ismail with a ram, signifying the divine generosity and acceptance of Ibrahim's devotion. So why we are doing this after a couple of millennia, Like it's remembering the obedience of Ibrahim. It's willingness to sacrifice. So I'm like, I can't sacrifice my own whims, desires, and wishes, and when I'm sacrificing, I'm getting the image of Ibrahim while he was sacrificing his son in front of me. So I would gladly sacrifice something that would commemorate that event, and also sharing
the mercy of God.
Yes, of course.
Of course.
And sharing and generosity with family and friends and poor people. The meat that come from that sacrifice is traditionally shared with the poor people and needy. So, as well as family and friends. So this act of generosity is a core part of celebration, symbolizing the importance of helping others and the bridging people together, fostering a sense of community. And also like thanking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for his favors. And it's a tradition for devotion. It's a well-established tradition in Islam that a person would sacrifice this kind of sheep or camel or cow or something like that would denote or signify that a person is highly devoted and actually deeply devoted to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for his generosity and mercy.
Yes, of course. Sheikh Osama Al-Gohary, Azhar scholar, thank you so much for your valuable insights regarding the 10 days of Zil Hijjah. And by this, dear viewers, we reach to the end of our edition of the Breakfast Show. But do stay tuned for another edition coming to you tomorrow on Now TV International.